Hello and welcome to DataLeadrs, your convenient weekly update on data news. I hope you've all had a safe and successful week wherever you are, and I can tell you the more I search for articles to bring you, the more I realise how much strange reporting there is out there. I won't go into specifics, but I am seriously thinking about starting a new fake news feature as some of the things I see published are a little bit laughable. This is why I think in these times, even in a space where you believe that there should be integrity in reporting, you need to be careful what you read and believe. For example, this week I read an article trying to compare a prominent software vendor in the analytics space to Palantir, and I have to say it was one hell of a stretch, as I cannot see the parallels between the services. And if you know anything about Palantir, you know it's not a software only offering. Anyway, all I'm saying is be careful what you believe when you see these things, and have a curious and somewhat skeptical mind as to whether it's really a sponsored article you are reading, or even if it's written by someone who knows what they're talking about, quite honestly. So what do we have for you this week? Well, I wanted to show you a tool this week that I think many of you know, but equally many may not. It's a tool called OpenRefine, and it's a free tool that is very powerful, particularly if you've been doing a lot of your work in Excel. And look, I know Excel isn't where we should be doing our work, but the fact remains that so much of the data preparation still takes place there. And if you are doing that, then this tool will power the work you do for data prep, data quality. I'm sure many of you will use R or other apps your firm provides or you have on your laptop, but another one in your arsenal is never a bad thing, right? So in addition to this, I have a number of short soundbite news stories for you, including some that just frustrate me, but the theme is consistent again this week, and this week is Data Quality Week. So I hope you enjoy the content. So I wanted to quickly show you some of the capabilities of OpenRefine platform. You can Google instruction videos on the platform, as it has a large community of users, as it's quite a powerful tool for data profiling, what I call basic data analytics, data preparation and cleansing. It comes with built-in clustering algorithms and is one of those Google projects that they threw into the public domain. So you will also see it referred to as Google Refine. Let's take a very quick look at it, and I will include some details in the description for you to download and install on your laptop or your Mac or whatever platform you operate on. So let's get straight into the demo. Okay guys, so here we are in OpenRefine, and once again, I'm not going to go through this in detail. We just simply don't have time in these weekly slots to do that, but I did want you to be aware of OpenRefine's existence. It is free, so that's really important, I think, and it is quite powerful, much more powerful than Excel, and a really good tool for you to be thinking about using in terms of data prep, data quality, some basic data analytics as well. Although it's not a visualization tool, don't use it in that context. It just doesn't do that. So I'm just going to very quickly show you. I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this. So I'm going to just find a file. I've got a couple of files here. I'm going to use dataset 1. I don't know what's in this, by the way. I'm just going to go through it. This is not pre-planned. I'm just going to import this. Here we go. So maybe this is a large data set. Might not be the best thing to use. It's taken a little while to look at the data. Again, we've not really started a project yet. I'm going to show you this in a second. Once this data is in, then we create a project, but we get lots of kind of pre-processing options before we do that. And you always get, in OpenRefine, you always get a view of the data, which is really kind of very useful. So here, and again, this is all open data, so there's nothing private or personal in here. This is all data that's been created for the purposes of a course. And you can see you can import Excel files. If the Excel file has multiple tabs, you can also bring those in together, but there's a great deal of flexibility in terms of the different types of files you can use. CSV, of course, but JSON and other files that you can bring in to the OpenRefine application. So if you're comfortable with what you see, then you can hit create projects, and that's what I'm going to do first of all. that will just bring the data into the core part of the application, where you can start to use filters and other things to look at and manipulate the data. So let's just take a look. What you see is, you'll see the data here in a second. So we've got 6,865 rows. We've got this column here on the left hand side which says facets and filters, and that's mostly what I'm going to show you, and we're not going to do a lot of these. I'm just going to show you how to use the application, and I'm going to make more records available here, so as you see more of the data. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is probably, let's just look at the state. So let's look at a text facet, and I'm doing this for the first time. I haven't spent much time with this data set. What you can see is pretty much all of the records are in LA, so perhaps that's not a good way to go. We will look at something else. We will look at city. So if we look at city and we do a text facet on city, what you see is what you would normally see if you had to pull together a pivot table of the data. You wouldn't be able to see that this quickly. So you can see that there's a lot of different cities that people are in, and I'm going to run also on city a duplicate filter. So within this you have some customized filters and you have a duplicates facet, and very quickly, and of course we will see lots of duplicates, there are 71 unique cities. So let's just have a look at that. So these are not duplicates. In fact, these are cities where there is only one record. So again, whilst we've used the duplicate facet, we can very quickly see where there's uniqueness in this space. And of course, the duplicates you're going to see a lot of. There's going to be a large number of those records. I probably shouldn't have hit that, because now we're going to be working for a little while. So let it run. Here we go. So and again, you can exclude these, include these. Let me just try and find a different data set that might be more valuable for us to look at. These are office descriptions. So I'm going to run a text facet on that just to see what the data looks like, just to group it. Okay, and you can imagine if you're looking at a data set for the first time, then you're going to need to look at this. This has a significant number of choices. So I'm going to set the choice limit to 3,000. Set the choice count limit. There you go. Okay, so now you start bringing in the different records and the number of records in each case. There's a lot of ones and twos here, so that what you can see immediately is there's a large concentration here. Here. And if we just take a look at those records, there's 275. You see 275 here. These are the 275 records that we're looking at. Computer's a bit slow today. So, and again, now we can do a text facet on a much smaller data set. So we've filtered the data to one of the office descriptions, so we're only looking at one office description set of data. Now I'm going to look at a text facet for the office address. Okay, I'm just going to close some of these things down to make it easier for you to see. Okay, so here you see all of the different office addresses. Now let's just say actually there was only one office address at this office address, 100 East Bayou Street, site 101, 103 and 105, and what we wanted to do was change this to be all 101. You can very quickly go into the record and just update that to 101. Hit apply and the record updates. Okay, very simple. And let's just change this one as well. Now I know I'm actually not really positively affecting data quality here, but I'm just showing you the very quick edit capabilities that we have here. Now you can see 3 office addresses here, and most of the other office addresses are singular, so there's no real clustering of any, although there is there are 2 office addresses at PO Box 248. So let's just take a look at those records. So you can see, using facets, you can very quickly get to the data set that you want to look at. You can very quickly look at the data, and there's a lot of other things you can do. I'm not sure clustering is going to work. I can look at nearest neighbor, that may work. No. There's a lot of clustering capabilities that are built in. There's a clustering algorithm built into OpenRefine, and like I said at the beginning of the video, OpenRefine was actually a Google tool, so it's pretty extensive in terms of its capabilities. It's not going to replace your commercial tools necessarily, but bear in mind that it does have a lot of capabilities that you will find in those commercial tools. To give you an example, you see this column here is all in caps. I can go in, and if I remember how to do it, I think it's edit cells, common transformations, and I can move it all to title case incredibly quickly. And now I've only done it for those 2 records, but if I wanted to take this office address facet off, we get the whole data set back. And if I can find it again, here it is. If I do it for the parish and I edit cells, common transformations, and I want it to title case, then that changes all of the records in title case. Now, if I wanted to look at the parish, I'm just going to do a text facet on parish, because this is an area where we see multiple records. So it's definitely worth looking at parish. So what you see here is for Acadia, for Allen, different capabilities, and you can scroll through this and very quickly see near matches and duplicates. But what you can also do is you can use a customized data facet, as I showed you before, to use duplicates if you really felt that that was a duplicate that you wanted to see. So here it's going to identify all of the duplicates. Of course, all of these things are going to be duplicates in the records. Okay, it's nearly done. And actually this runs much quicker, even on larger data sets, to be honest. It's just my computer is having a tough day today. So again, everything's true. All 275 individual components of this are in fact duplicates, but that's fine. Again, if you wanted to look at one of these, you can filter onto the record. So we might want to look at expiration date, and we might want to just do a facet on the expiration date, look at the individual expiration dates, and clearly what you see is some clustering around these dates, although it recognizes that there's a significant set of rows at the end of the year seems to be where the expiration date is, and there's a couple of expiration dates in March, albeit on different years. And when you get a larger data set here, you can really move the data set around. So as you focus down, if you've got like a wide range of data that you want to really focus in on certain records, you can use the clustering function to really focus in on the records that you really want to see. There's a great deal of variation between these data sets, ultimately, in terms of the clustering that it's found. Okay, so that's OpenRefine. I hope you can see at least a little bit. This isn't intended to be a deep dive in any way, shape or form. There's loads more you can do even on this data set, but we just don't have the time to go into it today. But I wanted to show you the tool, make sure you're aware of it. I'll include in the comments below a link to some more tutorial videos which will allow you to really get into some of the functions and capabilities and the powerful capabilities that OpenRefine has. It's a very familiar interface to most people who use Excel, so I think it could really power and improve the way you do data preparation, data quality, and some data analytics components. So hope you've enjoyed that. Let's get into some of the news articles that we wanted to talk about this week. Okay, so that's OpenRefine. I hope you can see how it might add value to your data workflow and perhaps significantly enhance your work if you work a lot in Excel, that is, of course. So, on to data quality news. Let's start with a research report that I haven't yet received, but I hope to be able to do a deeper dive on in the future. This is Data Quality Tools Industry Analysis, which appears to look quite deeply at the data quality market, at least across the more traditional players. But I think this market is going to see much more influence from machine learning and AI in the coming years. And we will see new entrants growing potentially significantly faster than the stated 15.6% in this report. I will try to get the report and share more insights with you if I can. I've asked for it, we'll see if I get it. Equally, many of the existing incumbents have developed great advanced capabilities around data quality, including machine learning and AI. Let's take a quick look at the Gartner Magic Quadrant for 2021. Gartner predicts that 60% of organizations will leverage machine learning in data quality by 2022, which realistically is just around the corner. So if it's not on your roadmap today, you are most likely part of the 40%. Gartner really reflects that the market is shifting, and I believe it's shifting really, really fast. From traditional data quality initiatives that focus on compliance and reducing operational costs to the realization that without trusted data, making good decisions and driving growth become much more difficult. Now, as always with Gartner, it's important to understand the market that we are addressing in the report. And this is the Magic Quadrant for Data Quality Solutions. They have changed the name this year, I think. Hence, they cover a wide range of capabilities required from parsing, standardizing, cleaning, matching, monitoring, and much, much more. Take a look at the report in more detail if you need that detail. I'm clearly not going to take you through the whole report, but the top right corner sees Informatica, IBM, and SAP fighting it out with Informatica in the lead. But I always like to look at the visionaries, and Atacama, Information Builders are both making really good progress, it seems, in that domain. Of course, however good your data is, to get function from it, often you need up-to-date public data and a good connection and matching capability to integrate it. This article shows how niche players are continuing to drive out services in narrow verticals where data quality is critically important. Clara are delivering an API-based data quality service for healthcare professionals in the US, and this is an article that was published last week announcing how Clara Data Network Analyser connects with the power of Clara Data Platform. If you're in the US and need quality healthcare data, the link will be in the description below. And please make sure you take the time, as I always say, to like this video if you're getting value from it. Put a comment down below, tell us what you think, and make sure you subscribe and tick the bell if indeed you want to be notified when there are new releases of content from us here at DataLeadrs. Now, I may be a little late on this next article, but it is a hugely interesting move to me, as Collibra is known mostly for their data governance, metadata platform, moving quickly into the data quality space with advanced AI capabilities through their acquisition of OwlDQ. Now, I don't know how much you know about OwlDQ, whether anyone out there has used it, and whilst I haven't used it, the capabilities and videos supporting it sound really impressive. If you've used OwlDQ, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know down in the comments, and I would love to know more about how Collibra intend to integrate this into their broader cloud data platform. The next article is simply here as a reminder and an interesting use case as to how you can get things wrong right at the beginning and then years later have to pay the price. This is less of a retrospective view of how the UK government has had bad data, but more of a lesson in how if you don't consider measurement up front, you are likely to be left without the measurement at the end, of course. Having a lack of data to reflect progress is perhaps the worst data quality problem of all. This story reflects on the £1.1 billion the UK government has spent on trying to cut carbon emissions from cars without the proper measurement to understand if the money spent is actually having any impact. Indeed, the carbon emissions from cars in the UK remain pretty much the same as they were in 2011. However, it does seem to be quite challenging to identify exactly why that is. Now, I don't intend to be drawn into the politics. This is a simple case of a lack of foresight and a focus on real KPIs, which has led to a simple lack of measurement. And me personally, I loved my Tesla when I was in the Netherlands and would have another one tomorrow. So this is a really important subject, albeit it clearly reflects how not measuring and not having the data at all leads to significant problems, and is linked to the data quality topic we're talking about this week. So on to the last piece, which is simply a bit of a rant. This is an article from a data administration newsletter which seems to consider data quality as the domain of technology and IT managers and projects them as data stewards. I just find this incredibly short-sighted of a website that considers itself as a data management and administration platform. Don't get me wrong, IT are involved and systems are important tools and capabilities, but we should not be putting the responsibility for DQ at the feet of IT. Yes, of course, they play a part in the particular, should be more focused on the areas of data transfer, ETL, and in that context, they are data stewards. But I think this article is a little myopic in its outlook, and we need to start calling this out. Anyway, that is about it for this week. I know it's been short. I hope you have enjoyed the content again this week. I'm trying hard to focus in on particular subjects and keep the content in line with that each week. Let me know if you're getting value from that. And of course, be sure to hit the like button, drop me a comment, no matter how short, just say hi and let me know that you are watching, as it helps to keep me energized and motivated to do this each week. Also, please be sure to connect in the LinkedIn group. And of course, if you want to be the first to know, hit subscribe and get over to DataLeadrs.com and sign up for the blog updates. And that's DataLeadrs, LEADRS. Until next week, keep leading the way and take care.